Hello and welcome to session 4 of the help videos for Excel. This is Guy Glidden again, and in this session I'm going to do two things. And I've got them listed on the sheet, which we're going to move from pretty quickly. First of all, I'm going to rapidly take you through the steps of creating a graph on Excel with the use of the tools we've already got as a starting spot. And then I'm going to provide a checklist for your demonstration test. So this will also be on the PowerPoint that you can review later, but it will tell you the things that if you are confident you can do each of these things with Excel, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape in demonstrating your skills. So very quickly, let me move over here to this screen right here. And what you're seeing right here is a blank pivot table screen. And I've done this to save time because I hope by this time we know how to set up a pivot table. And let me show you what I'm going to do to my demonstration. I'm going to use the performance achievement categories by number, and I'll tell you why I'm going to do that. So I'm going to create a pivot table by first of all putting the performance category icon down and changing that to a count. Because remember, what we're really doing is we're creating a frequency distribution. So if you remember those lessons, now I'm going to put this in the category right here so that you can see what I've done so far. Now I'm going to do something different here just to create something, because I'm going to create this so I can use it in a graph. I'm going to move this over here. So now performance category is just going out to the side rather than down below. So it's a horizontal rather than vertical treatment. And now, because I want to show performance category information for racial group, I'm going to put racial group down on the row labels. So what you end up with is something like that. So that's what I've created as using pivot table as a process. Now, the whole point of this lesson is I want to create a graph of this information. And so here's what I'm going to do. Follow these steps. Steps number 1, simply make a copy. Okay. Step number 2, we're going to do a paste special. And there's a special reason why I want to do that now, because when we use a paste special, now I can treat this data here with that, and if I keep it in the pivot table format, I can't do that. So I don't need, I'm just going to change grand total to total. Not a big change here, but I want to add meaning because you won't know. So a category 1 is very low, and that's really like non-satisfactory. Category 2 is like basic. Okay, category 3 is proficient, and then category 5 is advanced, and then category 4 is somewhere between proficient and advanced, and let's call it high performance. High performance. So again, my point is I can label these whatever I want with the data put in this way. Now I'm going to do one other thing in order to set this up and edit it here, because I've done this before and I want you to follow this step. See where the word race is? I'm going to delete that column right there because I already know what those are. And now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight this information right here. And then, so you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to pull this up here. And under Insert, I've already got showing up all kinds of options for a chart or a graph. So I'm going to go to, and I could do a line graph or a column. Some won't fit, and we'll talk about that later. So let's see what it would look like if I did a line graph. Let's do that. And then, presto, I have created a line graph right there. And that's what it looks like. That's the basic graph. Now, in case I don't like that, let's go up again and say, okay, I don't care for that. Let's go to Insert again. Let's make it a column graph instead. So here's where I've created what I used to call a bar graph, which Excel calls it. Now this graph can float. I can go back and forth. Now, that's really all there is to creating a graph. Once I've done that, I can go up here, and I've moved a little bit more than I want to right now, because it kind of went away from me here a little bit here. So I can move this back and forth. See, sorry, I thought I could. Let's move it down here. Maybe that would be an easier thing to do. Okay, that is the graph that I created. Now again, let's go back and do those steps again, just review them quickly here. And the easy way to do that, let's just delete that. Maybe I can. Okay. So we can move that off to the side. But let's move that. And actually, I can take that graph and I can move it someplace else. But I've created a graph here for my purpose. This is the basic graph of the data. So maybe the best thing for me to do would be to move it over to the side so that you can see that this graph is really a representation of this information right over here that is behind it, kind of like there. This is the basic information I used. So I've created a graph using that information. Now once I've created the graph, I can go back up at the top and I can do lots of things to make it look a little bit nicer here. And let me get all the way up so you can see what I'm doing up here. Maybe that'd be nicer here. Move this up a little bit too, so we can try to see a little bit of the graph while you're doing it. I guess I could do this with it. Makes the graph kind of small, but you can see in principle what I'm doing. So I can go back in here and I've created that kind of process. So now now that I've got when I put this hand on the graph, I can go to design, I can go to view, I can go to review, I can go to data, formula, page layout. I got all these chart tools up here below here. So what I need to do is I need to go in and I need to figure out some things that I can do. So if I want to go in and create like a okay, let's stop this sucker here.